Big changes are happening in Charleston classrooms, and the results are starting to speak for themselves. We want to welcome back Lindsey Ballenger, Executive Director of the Lowcountry Literacy Project, and Aleyse Scarborough, kindergarten teacher at St. Andrew's School of Math and Science. Ladies, great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Yes. Oh, goodness. It's always wonderful to hear when there are improvements in test scores and seeing kids who are now exceeding earlier expectations. And Aleyse, for you, as a kindergarten teacher, you are on the front lines of seeing these improvements. So tell us a little bit about what you have been seeing in your students, if you could.
So we actually got trained at my school this past summer with Orton Gillingham. We hit the ground running first day of school, first week. It's a lot of classroom tour expectations, and then slowly after that they are introduced to those letters in their reading and writing. So far, I mean, my kids are already reading, and it's the beginning of the second quarter,
wow,
which is insane. Last year, around this time, we were nowhere near that. A lot of my kids last year weren't reading until after Christmas. So to be meeting with parents in September and being able to tell them your child is decoding and reading.
This must be just so thrilling for you, because you're seeing the actual impacts, and data report did come out, so we are seeing it in the numbers as well.
We are, yes. So we have a new data report on our website that really highlights and summarizes the last 3 years of standardized testing from kindergarten, first and second grade, and what we can say is that children who have been with teachers that we've trained have seen a 72% greater growth.
Wow.
So they're performing, they're able to read better, more students are reading at grade level, and it's also impacting intervention. So we're really not only strengthening that tier 1 classroom instruction, but we're making sure that the kids that need more and more dosage are getting it as well. So.
Why do you think that this literacy program was so necessary? Because it sounds like this is part of basic education, but it isn't necessarily.
So we have done a report with the Riley Center, and we have trained over 100 teachers, and we've assessed them, and 81% of teachers said they did not feel confident in teaching reading when they graduated from college, even after a master's in literacy.
That's good, and you can relate to that.
Oh yes, for sure. So actually, when I was student teaching with kindergarten, I think a lot of the push during that time was science of reading. So there was a program called Wilson's, and you're reading from a script. The script is almost different every single day, and it's never the same thing every single day. And so it's not like OG. OG is almost like a formula in which you input what your children need and what you're teaching. And so it was really hard in college to lesson plan for English, and then starting to teach by myself last year, my first year, I was not confident in the curriculum that we had at the time, and I wasn't confident in me using my teacher knowledge to create lesson plans for my children. That's what I loved about OG this past summer. Those 5 days of trainings was just so amazing as a teacher.
Just 5 days of training, and that's what's creating such an impact.
And a year of coaching.
And a year of coaching.
And that's another thing that I love. We meet with our OG coaches once a week. So if we have any questions, it's amazing. But those first 5 days of training, when the teachers were able to get that background knowledge, it's so important for, I feel like, teachers to understand the science behind the English language for us to be able to teach that to the kids.
How long has the project been around now?
So we started this work in 2021.
Okay.
That was when we trained our first cohort of teachers. And it's expanded rapidly the last couple of years. We're in 5 schools. We have a partnership with CCSD. And we're just really excited to help walk alongside teachers and coach them and really connect that theory to implementation. That was the missing piece.
So now, because they're learning how to read so much earlier, what do you expect the impact to be once they start entering grade school, middle school, high school?
Yeah, really the goal is to make sure they do learn during those foundational years, kindergarten, first, second grade. If we look at our NAEP scores, 2/3 of 4th graders are not reading at grade level proficiency. And so that's why this is so important. We want to make sure that when a student gets to 4th grade, they're able to read.
And OG stands for?
Orton Gillingham.
Orton Gillingham.
Orton
okay.
Gillingham.
All right.
And really, until this project, Orton Gillingham was not accessible in public schools.
Wow.
So this movement has been about removing these barriers so students who
Fantastic.
cannot afford it have
Sure.
have access to it during the school day.
I think that's wonderful. And finally, we have a documentary that we want to invite everyone out to come and see. So tell me a little bit more about this documentary.
Yeah, so the Rising Tide documentary, it's going to be about literacy in the Lowcountry and this movement to make Orton Gillingham more accessible in our schools.
Great.
It lifts the voices of teachers, administrators, and families who have been impacted by this approach. It's going to be on January the 20th at the Charleston Music Hall. It's free. Tickets are on our website. You have to register, but we are looking for the community to come and learn about what we are doing and how they can help be a part of the solution.
Beautiful. All right, The Rising Tide, Tuesday, January 20th at 6 p.m. at Charleston Music Hall. Get your tickets now. I want to thank you so much, ladies. You're doing
Thanks
God's
for
work.
having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll be back after this.